feel like you don't have to be pressed. Don't, just trying to see if I can just take that off of you so you can relax a little more. I'm trying
Okay.
to think it'll give it a different feel for you.
Okay. Hello, I am Clinton Jones Sr., Corey Jones' dad.
Or whatever the case may be, it's out of hand.
Indict Officer Raja! Indict Officer Raja!
That's going to end our protest for the day, but we are going on the ramp of PGA headed south. We're going to pull over on the side of the road, lift our hoods for 20 minutes, and we're going home.
So what are your earliest memories of him as a little boy? What was there anything in particular that sticks out for you, as a toddler or a 2-year-old or a 3-year-old? Anything stick out?
Yeah, he got lost in the house. We didn't know where he was. And we looked everywhere for him. And come to find out that he was in the cabinet up under the kitchen sink, just playing with the pots.
He used to, on the bunk bed that they had, my brothers had a bunk bed. He was on the bottom bunk, and there was a shelf in the bottom bunk, and he would have books stacked, and in between those books, he would pull out folders, papers, just to make his symbols and things like that. He would get his pencils out, pens, it didn't matter, and he would play. He would play and play. But yeah, childhood, he was always beaten on something.
They poison the food that we grow to keep control, and then they want to do.
I kind of learned about Corey's, exceptional drumming early on, but I didn't really know how great of a drummer he was in the circle of the drumming world. I didn't know how much people looked up to him in the music world, not just in Palm Beach, but in the state of Florida, until years later.
Corey Jones is the catalyst. To open the doors of justice, to balance the scales of injustice.
A lot of people know Corey through the music,
Right.
but there was another side. So every night after Corey would get out of his work in Delray, he would come to the restaurant and he would sprout and dehydrate.
No.
Corey made all of the flowers and the things for us. So as far as the food is concerned, he's such a big part of that, and the music, and I'm just loving that both of his worlds are starting to connect together. People get a chance to see the bigger Corey. Wasn't just music, but if it wasn't for Corey, the New Vegan Restaurant wouldn't be there, because him and CJ literally used their two hands to help me build that place 7 years ago. Just me, him, and CJ. That's it. So for me, the Corey's rice, that was his recipe. These were recipes that he came up with, 1 o'clock, 2 o'clock in the morning. And I'm just excited that we get to merge his beer with his Corey's rice, and people get the chance to sit back and vibe what my cousin has done.
If you go through the crowd, you can find any individual that can say, yes, I remember an uncle that was killed by the police. Yes, I remember a friend that was killed by the police. So the death of Corey is different from the death of my brother in that it's bringing people together. And now people can see what's actually happening with the police in the black community.
Painful to, kind of like go over his life, because I think about all the good times that we did have together, and now they're gone. So only thing I got is memories, and so I just hold on to them and keep moving.
I got one down. I got one man down. I got 5 records. Stand by.
Roger, you all right?
Yeah, man, I'm good. Drop it up.
On the off ramp, right?
On the off ramp. Give me some units. I've lost contact with him. I don't know where he is.
All right, stay on the phone, buddy.
There's just so many questions in my head and everyone's head, because there was no answers. And nobody could put 2 and 2 together of what happened. Police weren't forthcoming with anything. We didn't even know where Corey's body was. We didn't know what had happened.
Raja told investigators he identified himself as an officer, but an audio recording of Jones' call with roadside assistance proved he never did.
They told us that it was a police officer. Like, what in the world? My mom raised us, my dad raised us to respect, authority. So I didn't, we were confused about what exactly happened.
For someone to call me and tell me that he had got killed by a police officer, man, it was just tough for us. It was really hard. And I couldn't get home fast enough to see what was going on.
And it made sense after we found out that it was an unmarked van and he didn't know that he was a cop. It made sense. We were like, I know that he thought that his life was in danger and that he was probably going to get mugged.
Raja showed no emotion as the guilty verdicts were read. He was on duty in plain clothes and an unmarked van when he killed Jones in October of 2015. Jones was waiting for a tow truck after his SUV broke down.
The truth will prevail over lies every time.
I can't explain the emotion that I felt. Relieved. It was... we got justice.
The state and the prosecutors did a great job of just highlighting that this guy knew what he was doing and try to cover it up. And that's the story. There's no other way to explain it.
That was justice. Many people can't say that have been in this situation, and that was justice.
Do you feel that we're in a moment of change of some sort that's achievable?
I believe that we'll come into that moment. I believe it's going to happen, but it's going to be very painful.
So how do you feel about the idea of a Corey Jones Memorial statue?
Mm-hmm.
How does that strike you?
Yeah.
Man, that would be, I really don't have that much words to express, the joy that I have in my heart.
And I believe that it would be great for children to learn who he was, because that's somebody that they could model.
Heard this with Mr. Mustard on the taped messages that they are wanting to do a public-private partnership with raising money for a statue. They want to place that out in I think it's on the Old School Square grounds off of in Coconut Grove area, and that would be in a year from now. They're going to try and get money together in order to be able to make it so that they can dedicate it 1 year from now. There was a request for a proclamation for his Memorial Day, and they wanted to see if we would do a Corey Jones Day on the 18th, declare it in the city of Delray Beach.
The world and the country now got to see firsthand at the same time what is happening in this country over and over again. Because if we heard from Breonna Taylor to George Floyd to Corey, why is it happening at so much of an excessive rate to people of color?
I've been trying to figure it out. I'm 63 now, and I haven't figured it out yet. And it's sad.
This incident is but a step in the battle. This case is not about racism. It is not about our emotions, your emotions. It is not about anger and not about political pressure. This case is about justice for Corey Jones, our son, our brother, our uncle, who was wrongfully killed by a person who preyed on a citizen that was broke down on the side of the road. Officer Newman should have been the help that serves and protects. On that fateful morning, Officer Newman Raja failed not only Corey Jones, he has failed the citizens of Palm Beach County.